Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live and we are going over what you can do today to build wealth, right? And really, the easiest way to go through this is decrease, like, think about it like a business or P&L, okay? If you know you have X amount of revenue coming in, and that could be from your salary, right? Let's say you make $10,000 a month, right? Nice, round, easy number. There's only two ways you could really build wealth. Okay. You have to make sure that one, you're increasing your income or decreasing expenses, or ideally doing both of those things, right? We always talk about going back and auditing what you're spending for, let's say, the last 3 or 6 months, right? Think of ways that you can cut, and then think of ways that you can divert that money that maybe was going to Starbucks, okay, and instead invest that into anything. You can invest it into the index funds, right? Like just buy the SPY, okay? You could save that for real estate. You could put that in a money market account, okay? There's a million different ways to do this, right? But what really needs to change is the habits around spending and the habits around investing, all right? If you can make these things habitual, meaning automatic, you will be able to build wealth much faster. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, 100%, man. I think in today's day and age, we also get caught in a lot of shiny subscription platforms, a lot of wasteful kind of spending.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that people do is forget it. A good example, look at the Planet Fitness model, right? Why is Planet Fitness super successful? Because of their barrier of entry. They have thousands of members, thousands. So many members that all of them could never fit in all the gyms that they have. So why is that? Because it's simple. $10, you set it and forget it. So
Yep.
how many of those do you have?
Yeah.
A silly little TV subscription, this app that you bought you never use, right? They actually make apps that you could clean that stuff up.
Yes.
It's wild, man, to like see that. Like you could be spending a couple $100 a month and not even realize that you could be doing something way better with that money.
Dude, I'm so guilty of that. I've done that. That actually is one of the things that led to my first partnership breakup, or my second one. Is I noticed, right? I went back in time, and guys, this cost me a lot of money because of how long it went, but it also saved me a lot of future headache. So I'll give you guys a quick story. I used to have, before integrated, it was called Sprout Lending. I had a partner. He was a great guy, but he just spent like a drunken sailor all the time, right? And what I found was, when I went through all the bank statements doing the taxes, I found it a lot of waste. And I mean, not like a little bit of waste, guys. Like a little bit of waste would be like a couple $1,000 a month, right? For a company that size. And we were at multiple five figures of waste. Yes, a month. Okay. I found at one point there were 3 offices we were paying for, only using one. Yes.
Sounds like the government.
It was that bad, dude. It was that bad. Okay. There was a boat rental, okay, that was in there for 500 a month, okay, that nobody in the company used except him. And there was a lot of these things. Like it was adding up to like 20, 25 grand a month, right? And then I mixed that on top of that he caught his assistant stealing, right? And that was multiple six figures. And then it was pretty clear to see why we didn't have too much cash in the bank, right? So when I went through that and I had a conversation, I was like, hey, this needs to change, right? Had I not done that, I would have never been where I'm at today, right? I wouldn't have had my own company. It wouldn't have been super profitable. I wouldn't have been running a company like a real organization, right? And these are all things that you learn over time. And a lot of the times you get so caught up in the day to day that you don't actually look at what your habits are. I'm going to say that again because that's a big one. You guys, everyone gets so caught up in the day to day, you don't realize what your habits are. And if you don't periodically go back and check and course correct, that's how you go off track, right? That's when you start losing money and you don't realize it. And a lot of times what it feels like is, hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing all these great things, and I don't have any cash in the bank. Well, it's usually something that's caused by just you being caught up in the day to day and not understanding that your habits have changed, right? So what can you do to correct that? Once a quarter, go back, go through all your things, go through all your expenses. Okay, go through all your credit card bills, see what's on there, right? This is an exercise that's very boring to do, but if you do it, you will absolutely, absolutely be able to build and stack wealth, right? A couple other things you can do. Think of things that are evergreen that people need all the time, right? First, housing. Okay. That's a great area to invest. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of deals right now. Housing's pretty propped up. Okay. I do think there will be some deals in the future. I do think this is going to have to correct at some point. Even though there's so much optimism about what's going on with, the change in administration. All right. Next, like crypto has been absolutely taking off. Why wouldn't you take some of that money you're spending on Starbucks, right? And then go out and invest it into some evergreen cryptocurrencies on a weekly basis, right? That is really how I built a lot of my wealth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Yes, have I always earned a lot of money? Absolutely. But the trick or the key that I see is that I live well below my means at all times. I pretend that other money, it doesn't even exist, and I just invest it into things. And then when it gets large enough, I invest it into much larger projects. Okay. And that's what I've done for, let's say, the last 5 or 10 years. Sometimes they work out, like a lot of them work out, and then a lot of them don't. Okay. Like I invested in Everbowl. That set me back multiple 6 figures. Okay. These are just lessons that you learn along the way. And unfortunately, they happen to most of us, but the habits don't change, right? The habits allowed me to reclaw any investments that went sideways or went south. Okay. And that is because I am set in those habits, right? And if you guys get anything else, change your habits, it'll change your life. Right. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. I think a couple of those things that you said, previously, like you flip that, right? Like when you were telling that story, that's pretty interesting. But look at it from this angle too. Like, look, you're saving some money, you're putting money away to invest it to grow, but also create that habit. Don't get sucked into when you get it. Because I thought you said something very interesting there. When you were spending multiple 5 figures a month on these things, guys, that's a habit in and of itself. When you start getting money now, and it's like, oh shit, man, I want to do this or I want to do that. Then you start pissing it away on dumb stuff. So don't let that kind of derail you from things. All of a sudden I got money, man, and now I can do it. Where did this come from? All these years and now I have. Dude, you'll be back at square one real quick. And you can still have a lot of money and be broke.
Yeah. Well, you can be asset rich, right? And cash poor. And that's an area I find myself in a lot. Asset rich, cash poor. Okay. And that's something that it only lasts for a little bit, right? Until you catch back up with things. And I'll explain where I was going with that in a second. And then I think there's 2 other things that you guys can do really to build wealth. Okay. The first one is invest in yourself, learn new skills. Okay. Learn new skills to make yourself more productive with your company, with your team, or at work. All right. And if you can do that, you'll be able to earn more as well. And then you can bank some of that additional earnings. All right. And then 2, like if you're going to do stupid shit, okay, with your money. All right. No, I'm serious, Dave, because I'm about to do that. Okay. And I'm going to explain the thought process here. All right. I have always had a dream boat. It's a Nortec. Okay. Now, this is a boat that is multiple, like it's a mansion on the water. And what I mean by that is it costs the same as like a very, very nice home. Okay. The boat is unfucking believable. Goes 85, 90. You take it anywhere, go fishing. It is a go fast boat that does it all. All right. I have loved this boat. It has been on my vision board. I am finally at a point where I am actually shopping for one. All right. Now, under any other circumstances, this is incredibly irresponsible. Nobody needs a boat that is multiple 6 figures, approaching 7 figures brand new. Okay. Nobody needs that fucking boat. However, it's been on my vision board. And if it's on my vision board, it's happening. Okay. That's just how it works. So what am I doing to offset this or make this reasonable? All right. I am going to do a boats and business once a month where I have entrepreneurs come out. We are going to network. We are going to troubleshoot problems. I'm going to have a captain. We're going to go deep sea fishing, and then we're going to go to dinner. Okay. This is going to be an entire event, right? Now, why am I doing this? One, because I love networking with other entrepreneurs and I love helping people. Two, this is going to offset or pay for the boat, right? So now I get my dream boat. I get the network with incredible people, incredible entrepreneurs, and they get to grow their business because they're going to network and learn and understand how to get through the challenges that they're currently facing, right? So this is a win-win-win. It's one of my core values. Is it a little bit more work? Yes. Okay. Does that mean that I'm not using the boat every weekend with my family? Yes. But it also allows me to justify, in my mind, getting that boat because it is then going to be an asset. So what I am doing is I'm turning a very, very, very expensive liability into a income producing asset, right? So if you are going to do these things, figure out how to do them responsibly because nobody should be buying that boat. That's the truth. It's a gorgeous boat, but it is not necessary, right? It is very hard to justify putting the money into that when I could put it into passive real estate and sit back. However, in my mind, what I did is I designed a way where I made it make sense financially and I can justify it. Okay.
But I also think on the flip side, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, how big of a deal is when you tote that line over the edge, like, oh shit, man, should I do this or not? Should I do this? How much, number one, does it make you uncomfortable at night? And then number two, that's almost like a stretch goal. Like, oh shit, I really got to do this now and make this thing work. Yeah, I have it, but what am I doing beyond that? Right? To make it work, to make it make sense. And then what's the next thing after that?
Correct. I mean, listen, I outline it all, right? When I do these things. Same thing. I'm considering getting a house in a different country. Why am I doing that? Well, I want a waterfront home. I want a place where I can go and escape. I want a place that if things get crazy, me and my family can go to and have no worries, right? But what am I doing when I'm not using that property? That's going to be a very, very high-end Airbnb. Okay. So if you think about these things and you position everything in the right way, you can turn liabilities into assets if you're using your mind and you're creative enough and you deliver enough value through what you're trying to accomplish. All right. So that's my way of justifying that boat. It will be happening. I think in the next 2 months, you guys will see it. Maybe we'll even Dave will come out and we'll do a Financial Fitness Friday live from it.
Yeah, buddy.
That'll be fun. All right. But I hope this helped. We went a little long today because I thought it was something that you guys needed to hear. I thought it would help. Appreciate you guys. Share this with someone that needs to hear it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Great job.